your questions. No, no, no. Can we please move to the consideration stage? You've not withdrawn?
Let me withdraw now.
You withdraw?
Yes, I withdraw the motion.
Okay, thank you.
Based on what members have.
Right now, the National Assembly is a sort of the committee of the whole House by the Speaker of the Parliament. It is now the consultation stage of the Tourism Offence Amendment 2021. Now the Parliament will consider this bill clause by clause before it is passed for the third reading. It's a very important stage as far as the consideration of this bill is concerned, because members will have to before the clause by clause, possibly make amendments where necessary to pass for the third reading. Like I said, this is part of the ongoing sessions in the September session of 2021. It is very clear here at the National Assembly chamber. And the Speaker is now
Honorable members, the Assembly will now go into Committee of the Whole Assembly to consider the Tourism Offences Amendment Bill 2020, clause by clause. In so doing, we will be guided by the report of the committee and clause 72 of the standing orders during the consideration stage. The report was earlier circulated. In fact, it was tabled and adopted. So I hope everybody has a copy of the bill. You see? In fact, we shouldn't even be asking that question, because really, I mean, it's just out of courtesy, but the bill has been circulated. It was circulated a long time ago. Maybe we'll have extra copies, but the obligation to circulate it was done much earlier. But I think she has extra copies. Wherever it stops, that is where it will stop. We are not going to make extra copies. Let's make sure that we always check our agenda and bring all relevant documents. Or paperless. Is it? No, I think she has enough copies. Honorable Bit and Caroline, it's not by force. He's always frowning. She has enough copies. You will all have, I think. Jimara, you have a copy? Okay. Just leave it on Jarrell's, yes. Thank you very much. Clark.
Thank you. Tourism Offences Amendment Bill 2020. Clause 1, short title.
Thank you very much, honorable members. It is proposed that clause 1, short title, stands part of the bill. Yes, honorable member for Woolly East.
Yes, thank you, honorable. If you look at the
clause 1.
Yes, the short title is 2020. I believe we should 2021 now. We should change it to 2021 instead of 2020.
Sorry, you know the procedure for the records. Yes, let it be just written for the records. Now, who is going to guide the assembly? Who's the chairperson of the committee? I think it's where's the vice? The vice chair of the committee, okay. So you'll have to take us through. Okay. Any proposed amendments on clause 1? No, let's wait for we'll wait for the amendment. Serekunda, I saw your tag earlier on, or it was the same? Okay, thank you. Any more proposals? It should be very short, Honorable. Yes? Yeah, we'll proceed, and then, but let's have it, Thank you. It is proposed that clause 1, short title, stands part of the bill, as amended. Those in favor, please say aye. Not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. So clause 1's short title now stands part of the bill as amended. Thank you.
Clause 2, amendment of the Tourism Offences Act 2003.
Thank you very much. It is proposed that clause 2, amendment of the Tourism Offences Act 2003, stand part of the bill. Before I take the vote, any observations? Vice Chair of the committee? No. Okay. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. So, yes, clause 2, amendment of the Tourism Offences Act 2003, stand part of the bill. Clerk, can we proceed?
Clause 3, amendment of section 13.
Thank you very much. It is proposed that clause 3, amendment of section 13, stand part of the bill. Any observations from honorable members? Yes, Chair, Vice Chair.
As detailed in the report, page 8 of the report, yes, we recommend that we change, we amend, the provision by capturing the objects, and that is a tourist or any person who buys, sells, procures or traffic in or bring into or take out of the Gambia for the purpose of trafficking a child commits an offense and is liable on conviction a fine of not less than $100,000 and imprisonment for a term of not less than 5 years, instead of the original provision in the Act. Thank you.
Do I take it, I just want to be honest, do I take it that you've made a proposal to amend it, to read what you have just read? Okay, let's take observations from honorable members. If it is an amendment, remember you have to forward it and we will deal with it. Otherwise, we can take oral observations. Banjul South.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. The Act, the original says an imprisonment for a term of not less than 5 years, not exceeding 500,000, in addition to life imprisonment. And if I am correct, the Vice Chair recommended 5 years and 100,000. Are they telling us that the crime committed is less severe now because they've reduced the sentence as well as the charge? And I think this is a serious offense. Then we are luring people into it if the fine as well as the charge is made more lenient. Can we reconsider? Thank you.
Sorry, Wooly is?
Yes, thank you. Chair, what I remembered is what is there, because we were saying that we reduce the amount of money so that we increase the penalty, the sentence, which is now imprisonment instead of life imprisonment. Instead of number of years in prison, now it's life imprisonment. It's harder now than it used to be. That's what I could remember.
Yes, I was also coming to that point, because what we recommended was life imprisonment, because we came to find out that the business was so lucrative. So if you are fined for 100,000, you can just pay that and go away. So, but if you are sentenced for life imprisonment,
pending
Yes.
the receipt of it. What
Is a fine for not less than $100,000 and in addition to life imprisonment. So the fine will lead to compensation to the victim, and then imprisonment will be the punishment, life imprisonment.
The Vice Chair, if I understand him, they're not proposing any amendment. Am I right? You want it to be as it is. But I just want to get you clear.
Yes.
Yes. So that is the second under Schedule 2, where you says amendment of Section 13.
Yes. So the proposal from the ministry was that we amend Section 13 from the original, which was not less than $50,000 and not exceeding $500,000 in addition to life imprisonment. That was the original text. The proposal was to change that text, and now it should read not less than $100,000 and imprisonment of a term not less than 5 years. And I may give you a background to just remind myself and my colleagues that yes, this was the general feeling. But however, after our committee engagements with the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, the Gambia Tourism Board, the Gambia Police Force, the National Tourist Guide Association, the Tourist Taxi Driver Association, the Gambia Hotel Association, Child Protection Alliance. All these stakeholders agree to this amendment on the fact that, one, it is going to align the rest of the other acts of Parliament that we have adopted, or we have passed here in the past, to give that uniformity. Some of these offences within the Children's Act, and in there the same words is what you captured. I think is also in Women's Act, or some other acts of Parliament, that we have passed here. So this is going to be in line with that spirit. And if you look at the bill, and you read the objects, it is giving reference to the elimination, the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, other protocols of, the African Charter of Human Rights, Women's and People's Rights. So there's a lot of consultation that was done on this subject. That's what informed the Ministry of Justice to come, and present, propose these amendments. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I have your proposal here. You want to read it out? Let's hear it before then we go.
Well, I was just responding to what the honorable member said, in terms of the consultation. Yes, my proposal is that since the original, not less than $100,000 is an imprisonment for a term not less than 5 years, I am proposing, and what we wanted to substitute is not less than $50,000 and not exceeding $500,000 in addition to life imprisonment. I am proposing that we amend that to not less than $100,000 and not exceeding $500,000 in addition to life imprisonment. Yes. In addition to life imprisonment.
If you are dealing with a proposal, it has to be written, unless you want to make a general observation. But if you are proposing an amendment, have to be written and submitted to the table office. Thank you.
Yes, I think the proposals brought up are getting much less stiff than the previous one. Most of the laws are flouted because they are easy to be reading over. We see the examples of taxi drivers knocking someone, inflicting pain or death. It goes to court. The fines are so minimal that they can just draw it there and then finish with it. If we maintain the former, it would be much better than coming to placate it with this 100,000, 5 years, and so forth. Let's go stiff. Let's go stiff. The stiffer we are, the better it would be for the nation.
Thank you very much. We've had the observation. Now, can we narrow it down? Now, Honorable Member for Serekunda is proposing fine of not less than $100,000 in addition to life imprisonment. But what you said was different, but because I think I heard the 500,000, but it's not captured here. Unless you want to include it here, in which case you do a second one, include the 500,000 wherever you want to bring it, and then we'll read it out. Or, it's already there. Okay.
That's the 500,000.
Instead of 50,000, 100,000.
Yes,
and not less.
That's my proposal.
Okay, fine. Then the Honorable Member for Ilyasa is proposing, I am recommending that the fine should be $1 million and compensation should be $500,000 and jail term should be life imprisonment. That is his proposal. Now, we want to hear you on those two proposals, unless, okay. After then, we will allow the Honorable Minister to...
Yes, thank you. I think the Honorable...
Honorable Chair, the reason why it was reduced to 50 is so that the culprit could pay and go to life in jail anyway. But if we make it 500,000, the argument was if you make it 500,000, the person will not pay, and therefore the victim will not get compensation. That is the argument. That's why we agreed to 50. But I can compromise with the 100,000 and life imprisonment. That one I will compromise.
Committee?
No, I'm not part of the committee.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. We all know it is, a big offense, and it is dealing with life. But then I just want the vice chairman of the committee to guide us here, because he mentioned that they have done a lot of consultation. What was the candid opinion of the Ministry of Justice in relation to this amendment? Can we go beyond it, or there is any implication going beyond, or something like that?
The minister is here. So, Sani Mentere.
Yes, ma, I am part of the committee, and the committee's recommendation was because this business is so lucrative, so if you charge $500,000 and then a short-term imprisonment, they can just pay $500,000 and go with it. So now what we add on it is we pay $500,000 and in addition life imprisonment. That will be a deterrent to the crime.
Yes, for me, Bintankarala.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I think, Madam Speaker, as the Vice rightly said, we invited a lot of stakeholders, and we agreed, as this was said, 100,000. But if I could remember, the Ministry of Justice said they want to align with this act with other acts, children acts and other acts, and those acts, I think they are. In them, it is less than $50,000 and not exceeding $500,000. So that's why we agree on 100,000. But when the person from the ministry said they want to align with other acts, and those acts are saying $50,000, not exceeding $500,000. This is why we come with this proposal.
Madam Speaker, I don't agree to the aligning of other acts by looking at the gravity of the crimes that are going to be created. We are charging according to the gravity of the crimes. So if other acts are charged because of the gravity, this is one deals with life, so it will be life imprisonment.
Thank you very much, Ma. I think this issue, I mean, if we want to align everything with the act, then we are not cutting our coats according to our size. I think if I am wearing 10 meters and somebody is wearing 5 meters, you want to align it, I think it will be a problem. Looking at what is happening now, look at what is happening now as far as child trafficking is concerned. I think we should really try by all means to make it very tough. Thank you.
Yeah. Honourable Speaker, I want to support the idea raised by the member for Busumbala. Just imagine one day you wake up not to see your child. That's the way you look at it. That's equivalent to murder. For me, let us make it severe so that it will become a major deterrent to deter the would-be perpetrators.
Honourable Speaker, I think if you look at this thing, what they're talking about, if you look at the end says that in addition to life imprisonment, the life imprisonment alone, I think, is enough to serve as a deterrent to commit such a crime. So I think 100,000 is okay. Let's go for 100,000 and then life imprisonment, please. In addition to life imprisonment, please. Okay, then that's okay. Thank you.
Yes, Tubana. Sorry for coming late. Yes, Honourable Speaker. I think I also want to agree with my colleagues. Looking at the crime itself, it's not a crime, it's not a small crime. And we know the realities in our country today. It's like, I don't even know how to say this, but I mean, the crime is not just a small crime. So, I mean, taking it at $100,000 is, to me, is very insignificant, looking at the crime that the individual is going to cause. So I wanted to propose, if it can be 500,000 and a jail term of life imprisonment, so that we will discourage those that are doing it. But today the laws are already there. People we're not implementing them, and people are just committing crimes.
Yes, thank you, Honourable Kerr. I think, in my view, the question of fine of 100,000 or 500,000 should not arise. Honourable Kerr, if you find me, if you convict me for life, sentence me for life imprisonment, why should I pay? I will stay there, hence I'm going to be indoors for the rest of my life. Why should I pay the $500, even $50,000? Let's see whether what is reasonable. You either remove life imprisonment, say 25 years imprisonment, or 50 years imprisonment, or 20 years imprisonment with 500,000. That one can understand that. But if you sentence me for life imprisonment, you want me to pay $1, I will not pay, because I will not see outside. That's very important. I will stay there for the rest of my life. I will not pay.
No, but if you have a proposal,
yes,
if you want to
my proposal is we leave it. We either
we have procedures.
Yes, my proposal.
Allow me. Now, if you have a proposal which you are entitled to, the rules say that you put it down in writing and hand it over to the table office and it will be read. Thank you. Honorable, yes, was it Banjul?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
We'll wait for your observation.
A small notebook, let me.
Yes, Banjul said.
Yes, amendment of section 13. It's okay like this, but I just want to make an addition by saying life imprisonment and hard labor. Yes?
Your proposal has been read. Eh? You want to withdraw it? You did not hear it? Or you want to defend it? No, it's there. It will be put to a vote or whatever. If honorable members don't agree, yes, nominated member.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, just in line with what nominated member said, I just thought about it. Because normally when you have a fine and you have a sentence, if you fail to pay the fine, you have additional years added to your sentence. But with this, if you are already sentencing me to life imprisonment, there is no need to fine me because I wouldn't find any reason to pay the fine. So I really want honorable members to consider this. Whether we want to put it life imprisonment or up to, he could be sentenced to life imprisonment or lesser than life imprisonment as well. Then you can put a fine that if they don't pay the fine, they have additional. But with this, it wouldn't make sense for any convicted person to pay.
Again, if you have a concrete proposal, can you put it down in writing? The Honorable Minister is here. He will guide us. Can we take this to be the last observation so that we can proceed? Honorable Member.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. I want the Honorable Minister to help me or us here. Yes. I think the spirit of the fine is for the compensation of the victim. But the punishment for the act is life imprisonment. So it needs to be clear here. If we want, to me, if you want us to put it together as a fine and life imprisonment, then the justification will come up, it's useless to fine. Would it be broader to say a compensation for the victim this amount and a punishment this amount, Honorable Minister, than to put it all of them together as a fine against the offender? The spirit of the fine is to compensate. Wouldn't it be better in the act to redraft it in a way that it will be clear that the fine is for compensation, but the punishment for the offense is life imprisonment? Thank you.
Can we allow Honorable Minister to come and help? You want to come? Yeah, the Vice Chair wants to say something before we...
Yes, so before I'm sure the Minister will come and defend the bill, but before he does now, I just want to remind my colleagues that, like I said earlier, if you read the text, it says not less than $100,000. So it means $100,000 is the base. And it says not less than 5 years. That means that's the base. So again, we just want to give the court the discretion to look at the gravity of the crime committed and use those bases as a springboard, whether that's going to be the minimum fine or they can go up to life imprisonment. And during these consultations, some of the members of the committee, including many of the stakeholders, we had a very tense debate about this. So because some people are equally strongly against this amendment. However, we were convinced, let's say one of the stakeholders, the Gambia Police Force, Mr. Sane, Ablaisani represented them, and he was even insisting that the word shall should be used instead of the word is. And in response to his claim, Mrs. Fatou Njai from the Ministry of Justice explained the objects and the reason of the bill, and also responded to the concerns and the issues raised. And the representative from Justice indicated that the word is in Section 13 of the Act and the proposed amount in the amendment cannot be changed in the context for consistent purposes with all the laws against trafficking. So there are other laws in trafficking that are talking the same language that they are proposing. As changing them will lead to amending all trafficking laws, and therefore the proposed amendment should be maintained. That was her argument. So, like I said, we as a committee, in our opinion, from the evidences gathered from the witnesses representing respective institutions, all the concerned stakeholders are in support of the proposed Tourism Offences Amendment Bill 2020. It is the opinion of the committee that the amendment will serve as deterrent of the would-be perpetrators and will check the crime rate. It is the opinion of the committee that the amendment will fulfill the government's commitment to domestication of international instruments that it has signed and ratified. In view of the above, the committee supports the Tourism Offences Amendment Bill without amendment. So this was the case. So, but again, I think the minister will come and defend his bill better than we can. Thank you.
Before I allow the Honorable Minister, I have few proposals just submitted. This is from the Honorable Member for Lower Fuladu West. I am proposing a fine of $100,000 and life imprisonment with hard labor. That is one proposal. Then from Honorable nominated member Mangianko Samusa, I propose that we either remove or reduce the sentence term to both fine and imprisonment. We either remove or reduce. That is his proposal. Then Banjul South, can you help me? Okay, it's all right. Up to life imprisonment instead of to life imprisonment minimum. Minimum sentence 15 years. So you are proposing a range from 15 to life. Give the magistrate the discretion. Okay. Honorable member for Tumanna, I am proposing $500,000 as minimum and life imprisonment as maximum. That's also a range. Larikunda Sabiji, I propose a range from 100 to 500,000 in addition to 25 years and 50 years imprisonment. Thank you. Honorable member for Talinding, I am proposing a life imprisonment and a penalty of $500,000 with hard labor. If the $500,000 is paid, the term you did not put in the term, the jail term, if the $500,000 is paid.
Okay, so you serve your prison term without hard labor.
Okay, the prison term will be served without hard labor. That is your proposal. So I'm finding it a little bit difficult to narrow down the proposal. So yes, I had narrowed it down earlier on, but we appear to have. Honorable Minister, if you want me to read them again so that we'll be able to guide us in narrowing it to whatever. Okay, if you clarify, okay. Very well. We allow the Honorable Minister then to clarify. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and good morning to all the members. I'll start with the argument raised by the two nominated members regarding whether there is any point, in fact, having a fine if we are maintaining a life imprisonment. Of course, there is. Government incurs a lot of expenses in fighting against this crime. It costs us a lot of money, and it's taxpayers' money. If the person is convicted and incarcerated, this fine, even if he or she doesn't pay it, but the fine becomes an issue if any parole or pardon is going to be considered for him. There are times that the state can exercise its discretion to release prisoners, even if they are on life imprisonment. I'm not saying it will happen, but if there is an accompanying fine, this is an opportunity to insist that the fine must be paid before we even consider giving you a pardon. So you see, it will be a revenue back to the taxpayers for the taxpayers' money that we have been using to find this crime. Because ultimately, it's a commercial venture for them, and we all agree they make a lot of money in it. So for me, the fine will still serve some purpose, though minimal, but it will serve a purpose. And in this context that it could apply would be that scenario, because when we are considering releasing prisoners, we look at, there are a long list of criteria, but two things that we look at. Is there a compensation order against you? And if the answer is yes, then you pay it. If you don't pay it, we normally don't allow a pardon, because there is a committee that looks at these things and make recommendations to the president. That is one criteria they look at. So if there is a pending fine for a serious crime like this, it's a revenue for government. So in the event, for whatever reason, you never close all the doors. We want to punish it as severe as we can. That is why we say in life imprisonment. But for bilateral reasons, for whatever reason which I cannot put on the table at the moment, government may decide to grant a particular person convicted under this law some form of a pardon or a parole. At that material moment, in considering whether the person should benefit from pardon or not, this fine will become relevant. So imposing a fine is not absolutely useless. To go a little bit beyond that, the fine, like I said, is a form of recovery for government. This is not meant for the victim. If we are minded to compensate the victim, we either have to put a clause there, but usually under our current criminal procedures, victims usually can initiate another civil proceeding to claim for compensation in a civil suit. But the civil procedure also allowed the court, the convicting court, to exercise its discretion and order for compensation. So prosecutors can make an application for compensation, which will be treated completely different from the fine. But the fine prima facie is go to the state, not for the victim. But any good prosecutor who secures a conviction, they are asked to make some basic applications before sentencing. Between that period, a prosecution can apply for compensation. They are used to doing it in theft cases. Once somebody is convicted, before a sentence is passed, you inform the court of the effect of the crime on a particular victim, and apply to the court that the court to consider compensation for the victims. In this kind of situation, perfectly the prosecutors can demand compensation. But for those who are debating whether this fine is for the victim or is for the state, it's for the state. The victim suffered, but the state also is incurring a lot of taxpayers' money to fight against these multi or international crimes. So it's fair enough the state recovers some form of money from them once they are found liable, because it's a cartel. So for me, even if the fine is bigger than this, I have no problem. So if 100,000, between 100,000 and 500,000, that could be my preferred range. I remember this was debated here extensively, and we brought it down to increase the likelihood, like Honorable Member Fully is said, the likelihood of them paying. They are not likely going to pay at the time of conviction because they know they are going to jail for life. And we have no way of enforcing it on them. However, if they have been fined, in fact, let me correct that quickly, something come to my mind. We can execute against their properties, even while they are serving jail time. So this fine have a very useful purpose. If they are fined 500,000, they may not willingly pay it. But remember, this is money due to government. Government can execute it if we know that, for example, they have a luxurious car lying somewhere or they own a property. We can go after that property and execute this fine against that property, and government will still make money while in the meantime he's serving his life in jail. So the fine is not useless. It's very useful. It's very, very useful for the state. Thank you. The compensation as at now, we leave it to the prosecutors and the court. Yeah. The jail term life is fine. That we maintain life in jail. If for whatever reason any state in power or government in power wants to grant pardon, I'm sure they will exercise, but Parliament would have seen the seriousness of this offense, and Parliament said the punishment should be life. No, that is what is in the draft at the moment. What is in the old bill, the principal bill we are amending, says it is not less than 5 years. We are bringing it to life imprisonment to bring it in line with the Trafficking in Persons Act. That is the alignment we are doing. Because trafficking in persons will sentence to life. So this is an alignment with that Trafficking in Persons Act.
Let's get it clear. Then the proposal is for the 50,000 to be increased to 100,000 and not exceeding 500,000.
If that is a popular proposal, but like I said, the fine can even be more and it will be useful. For those of you who are asking whether it's useful or not, it can be useful because we can recover it so long as we can find their assets.
So, yes, honorable members, nominated members.
Yes, what about, because if you look at it, sometimes the compensation is poorly followed. So what can we do in this case to cover the compensation? Can we do something to make sure that we add something on this, to make sure that the compensation also will be followed? Because as the minister said, it's only, it is for the state. But what is for the compensation now is my problem.
I believe I might be corrected on top of my head, but I believe the criminal procedure bill that is before you right now being considered, we have introduced provisions for the rights of victims in criminal trial. So that will be the general law that will look at the general issue of compensating victims of crime in general. So I would avoid a piecemeal legislation in this one. We are going to have a comprehensive law for the first time in this country that will be looking at the rights of victims in criminal trial. At the moment, like I said, the fate of victims is completely dependent on the court and the prosecutor. We don't have statutes that talks about rights of victims, but the courts have the discretion to award compensations where they arrive at a conviction. But we are now specifically legislating for that subject matter. And once we get it passed, it will cover all situations in criminal trial.
I saw that
Yes, thank you. Yes, so like I said, no, the minister has done justice to the bill by depending on why we should know. But again, we are in that process right now. We can change the minimum $50,000 because that's the proposal to bring it down to $50,000 and life imprisonment. So if we want to adjust the $50,000 to whatever is.
There are a couple of proposals for it to be increased.
Yeah.
From 50 to 100,000, between 100,000 and 500,000, and life imprisonment. And as the Honorable Minister has clarified, the fine goes to the state, and then, of course, Honorable Members raised concerns over the compensation aspect, and the Minister has again clarified that it is for the prosecutor at the time of the matter to apply for compensation. I can't remember.
Yes, so can I propose,
I've
Madam?
not read my criminal law in a while, but I don't know what happens in case of rape victims. Because they are usually compensated. Where are the practitioners?
We've amended that part of the criminal code. Yes, they can be compensated now. In fact, the courts can do it suo motu without any prosecutorial application. Yes.
But I think they do it. Most of the cases that I read, there is this compensation package there. So do we agree that the amount be increased from 100,000, from 50 to 100,000 before we take a vote? Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much, because that will be the amendment from 50, 100,000, between 100 and 500, and life imprisonment. It is proposed.
So, Madam Speaker, before you go, so the text would read that not less than 100,000, yeah? No, not less than $100,000 is in addition to life imprisonment.
The proposed bill, let me help, Madam. We are proposing an amendment to read not less than $100,000 and imprisonment for a term of not less than 5 years, to be replaced with the words not less than, as proposed now, $100,000 and not exceeding $500,000 in addition to life imprisonment. Yes. Yeah.
And it will be captured, incorporated. Thank you very much, honorable members. It is proposed that clause 3, amendment to section 13, stand part of the bill with amendments as read by the honorable minister and of course proposed by some honorable members. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. So clause 3, amendment of section 13 now stand part of the bill with amendment or as amended. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Objects and reasons.
Yes. Chair, I have...
Yes, sorry, yeah. Yes, I've seen it.
You've seen it, okay.
It is proposed that the objects and reasons contained in the bill stand part of the bill. And on that point, we have an amendment, a proposal from the Honorable Member for Woolly East, and I read, amendment in the objects and reasons, that the word is should change to I. Where is it on the bill, page, what, line 567?
Provisions of this act that is discriminatory, that is should be changed to are. Provisions that are discriminatory.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
I'm coming. Then the people, is it? Peoples should change to peoples with the apostrophe. Yes. Any other proposals? No? Okay, so these are the two. They appear to be typographical. Yeah. I stand to be corrected. So it is proposed that the objects and reasons contained in the act stand part of the, in the bill, stand part of the bill with amendments. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. So the objects and reasons contained in the bill now stand part of the bill with amendments. I think may I just observe something? It was observed in an earlier bill, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Can you have a look at it and see? Change it, eh? Right. It will change accordingly. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes. Honorable members, the ABC has scheduled the third reading of the bill for Monday, the 28th of June, 2021. But of course, before that date, the Office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice and the Office of the Clerk in accordance with Standing Order 7220, should have the bill reprinted with the amended version of the bills, that is for all the amendments to be incorporated for circulation to honorable members before the third reading. And the Assembly will now resume. Thank you. Yes, sorry.
I want a clarification from the Honorable Minister. Let's go to the objects and reasons.
We are already... The proposed amendments. Honorable members, the Assembly now resumes. Honorable members, may I now call on the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice, the person in charge of the bill, to report to the Assembly what transpired during the committee stage of the Tourism Offences Amendment Bill 2020. No, it will read 2020, but the amendment will capture it. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The Tourism Offences Amendment Bill 2021 has gone through committee stage and various amendments were proposed and adopted. The bill is now ready to be read the third time. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice. Honorable members, as earlier communicated at the consideration stage, the third reading of the Tourism Offences Amendment Bill 2020 is now scheduled for Monday, 28th of June 2021, for the Honorable Attorney General and Minister to move for its third reading. However, before that date, the Office of the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice is hereby urged to comply with Standing Order Clause 7220 to ensure that the amended version, which includes all amendments agreed at the consideration stage, be printed and circulated to honorable members in advance. And honorable members, by way of information, of course, the year will be captured as part of the amendments. Thank you very much. And Clerk, can we proceed with the next item?
Thank you. Motion, be it resolved that this August Assembly do consider and confirm the appointment of one of the shortlisted persons as Commissioner at the National Human Rights Commission by the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice.
Honorable Attorney General, can you move your motion?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My apologies for this checking. The notice that this issue is coming up hasn't got to me this morning. But notwithstanding, may I most respectfully move a motion for the Yes. Madam Speaker, may I, to avoid any serious error on my part, may I ask for a, I don't know if it is in court, I normally say a stand down. I don't know in the National Assembly. I need few minutes to consult on this and come back to move this motion properly. My staff did not let me know that this is what was coming up.
I have just observed, I think in all fairness, these things should have been done beforehand. I mean, it's just out of the blues. I mean, it's on the agenda. There should have been proper communication. So can we just sit about 10-15 minutes? May I just suspend the sitting for about 10-15 minutes so that they'll do their consultation and we resume at 1:45, please. I'm sorry. So
Honorable Speaker, could I?
Already resumed.
Love like fire. Wow. Love like fire. Xam ngeen rek affaire bi xam ngeen fan la? Skincare la. 2020 lañ wax de. Waaw. Fii nag mooy Kerr fan Kerr zero tache. Perfect skin. Skincare saa su ne rek niñ ko dee defee rek. Loo lañ soxlaati rek. Maanaam bu ngeen am problème ci seen skin yéen xam ngeen fan la fii ngeen di ñëw suma xarit yeeg am di jàmm yi nga xam ne taas daf lañ sonaloon xam nga doon xeesal ba laka xum éneew ma lañ ko nag waaye just in case comme ni ko gars yi di waxee rek en cas just in case loolu xew xam ngeen fi ngeen di ñëw Skincare Plus si yu baax rek la ñoo dox nag ay baax rek fu ne la ñoo dem ci réew mi di lañ indi rek nag products yu baax du Paris du Italie du USA du fi mu nekk nii sax boole nañ ci nag Sweden fu nekk lañ leen a indilee products bu dee tamit nag da nga ñuul rek ñu lay jamaa natural beauty that melanin dripping we do have stuff for you as well emuñ si skincare products rek ñu ngi ci cuub yi tamit fu ne la ñoo jaar in fact sax last commercial bi ñu defoon waxuñ leen woon ne dañoo dox ci ay kawar 9A grade rek nag waaw we do have bundles as well hair si lu ne la ñoo dox ñun ñu ngi ci rafetal jigéen rek luy taaral jigéen rek waaw boo leen di tukki tamit bëggoon rek classic suitcase ñu dañoo dox ci ay Samsonite duñ dee indi any brand of suitcases though other than Samsonite comme li ma dee wax rek boo eggee airport dëri Samsonite dafa am nuñ laa xoolee waaw ngeen lan nag waaw skin ci moom la ñu gën a xamee nag skin care products ci moom la ñu gën a xamee ñu ngi dox tamit benn tey tamit si ay dàlla man waaye man nag skin care mooy suma specialty xam nga rek jigéen bu sa xar kanam réglé loo def mu jag am nañ Patricia Reiner Kiwi Eye the whole range Lighten Up Gold Tomatine I mean the list can just go on and on and on and on lépp loo xam ne rek luy taaral jigéen la ci yooyu rek la ñoo dox skin care plus nag emuñ si Gambia rek ñu nga United States ñu ngi Gambia fii ba pare bu dee yaa ngi anywhere in Europe mun nañ la ko mail within 3 days rek ñetti fan rek nga jot say diw emuñ si loolu rek dañ laa consult tamit balaa ñu laa jaay diw dinañ def a free consultation pour wax la rek exactly li nga xam ne moo méngoo ak sa kanam dinañ leen wax tamit ne rek am nañ perfumes fragrances men's shirts accessories we do dresses as well we do blouses I mean we do shoes name it we do them Skincare Plus 2020 is our year of perfection zero task fi mu nekk nii réew mi fii kenn waratu fi task kenn waratu fi am problème kanam kenn waratu fi am problème yu picca boo ko amee dafa fekk ne rek ñëwuloo ci place bi fii
Love like fire. Bring my love like fire.
Agada.
Mbijano aganyani.
Albaka.
Mbaka important.
Yo, nga transfer la sto.
Ya transfer la sto.
Ha, code nyingi.
Okay. What's that? Nsila ID soto.
Sa soto. Sorry. Agada.
Mbijano bro.
Albaka.
Mbaka.
Bara alla service o tariya.
Mbare.
Mo ki janna nun kunu bara tariya.
Janno mi yona forest de bureau. Gambia tonkon na no mbari ya bere. Birim koyna fo kato
bari si kodo kino kato nim fo bolon labe
56 branches mola sota Gambia ja
ha
Gambia kono ani Gambia bantala bankol nka kono kiya bele kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta même na kodi to poto nin kodi maraw jannom number 1 di nyonta andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale wolam nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi mani domorol di fana beteata Gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je
wo moyo diat
apelenta
baraka ba ya lafta nyelan kendol e bina
yalo bukani la ko la baraka ba
yalo ndel ciosano lo
baraka
We live in a day and age where technology is creating a world without borders, filled with unlimited potential to improve the lives of the people around us. Innovarex Global Health ushers in a new way of leveling the playing field with increased access to quality healthcare services delivered at your doorstep. Our qualified professionals are equipped with state-of-the-art point-of-care testing technology to conduct tests such as kidney function, liver function, electrolyte tests, body composition, hemoglobin, A1C, and many more services with the highest efficiency in delivering results. The addition to our flagship Wellness on Wheels, more fondly known as WOW Delivery Service, brings the entire clinical experience full circle. IGH has remained committed to creating the future of healthcare delivery. Gone are the days of sending loved ones outside the country for basic medical services. Innovarex Global Health offers a new peace of mind and takes pride in delivering the quality of care we all deserve.
When we touch down, better broke down.
With Gamtel G-Fiber, now you can enjoy super fast internet in gigabytes. G-Fiber is affordable, stable, secured, and accessible to homes, businesses, and enterprises. With Gamtel G-Fiber, the future is speed. Gamtel, creating a brighter future in communication.
That's how she became mine and see that.